Hey there, heroes and heroines. I'm DJ Stutz here. Perfect Heroes, Insights into Parenting. And it's Tuesday night. And so, of course, I'm here with you at 7 o'clock. I'm always here. Well, almost always here on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. And so you can always check it out. Come here. We have replays. And so you can always check it out on the Imperfect Heroes podcast webpage that I have on Facebook. And so feel free to just look at them. We also post these on my YouTube page. And so you can find those it's Little Hearts Academy USA. That's the name of my coaching business. And so we post those on YouTube as well. And so I think if you even just look for Imperfect Heroes on YouTube, you'll find it. But Little Hearts Academy USA, you're going to find it probably. If you look for DJ Stats, you're going to find it. But you can always find it here too. So great things. So wow, first month of the year, we did a podcast last on New Year's Day. I know, pretty exciting. That was a fun one, and I had a lot of fun doing that one. And so, oh gosh, it's just, I guess I'll go with this because my glasses just shine. So anyway, but so we're talking, well, I guess before we get talking, I just want to make sure everyone knows we're going to be doing some changes with the podcast this coming year. And so starting next month, we're going to have a theme for each month, and the podcast will reflect the theme. Of course, in February, we're going to do love, and we're going to be talking about how children feel loved and then how they can show love in appropriate ways to different people, and how we can make sure that they are feeling loved. How do we show love to them and around them too? So it's going to be just a lovely month. And so I see this, but now I got to put my glasses on. Oh, Nicole, how are you? It's so good to see you. So put them back off so you don't get blinded by all the glare in my glasses. So I'm so excited. Today, we are talking about curiosity. And so when your kids are just around you, maybe you're trying to get dinner done, maybe you have some extra work you need to get done, maybe you're just trying to get the laundry done, for heaven's sakes, right? Wouldn't you love to take a shower once in a while? And the kids are just, all right. So what are some things that you can do to keep them out from under your feet all the time, but you want them engaged and in doing stuff and not on the screens all the time? I know we tend to just watch this, I'm going to go take a shower. And that's okay for, once in a while. But there's so much evidence that's out there that the more time that they spend on a screen, especially from the youngest ages, the more likelihood that they are going to be disconnected as they get older from the family, that they're going to be more rebellious, they become more angry. Have you ever noticed how your kids become more angry with each other, with you, more negative after they've been on the screen for a while? So it's really nice to have, and you can have some great educational apps and all of that, but they need most of their time away from the screen. So how can we do all of this and keep them engaged, and so you can have a shower, or you can get dinner done, or you can get the laundry done, or you can get some work done, or whatever? Well, curiosity is amazing. And I have this amazing guest on the podcast this week, and her name is Melinda Mulcahy. I know my first thought was MASH, Father Mulcahy. I don't know, maybe you're all too young for that, but that was my first thought. But she's from Wales, and I didn't know she knew too much about MASH, so didn't say anything. But she is fun, and I loved that she's from Wales. I have heritage from Wales, and I'm actually trying to learn Welsh on, Duolingo. It's hard. I'm not doing so well at it, but it's fun. But it's part of my curiosity too about learning about my heritage. So some of the things that we can do to keep them out from underfoot is to get them curious about things, how things, oh, excuse me, how things work, how things are put together. One of the things, and we did not talk about, see, when you come onto these, you get a little extra stuff, right? One of the things we did not talk about on the podcast, but that I love to do either with my kindergarten students or with my boys, didn't do this with my girls, but um, is you can go to like Goodwill, St. Vincent's, any of those thrift stores, and you can get some electronics. Now, this would be good for kids maybe 4 and older. 4 is the very youngest that I would do this with. But so you can buy an appliance. Toaster's a great place to start, honestly. Cut off the cord so they're not plugging it in and trying things. Give them a screwdriver and say, I wonder how this works. You want to, here's a screwdriver, see what you can do with it. Set it on the kitchen table, put it out if you have a garage or a patio and a place for them to do with it, and let them go at it and work with that. And girls would love this too. I found in my kindergarten class, girls really do love getting into that stuff too. Some of them do. And some of them are curious about other things, right? But let them be curious. And I love the question that Melinda brought out, is that one of the best questions for curiosity is, I wonder how this works. I wonder whatever. We did talk about on the podcast that I have a grandson named Sylvan. He lives in Reno and he's 8 now, but clear back when he was like maybe 4, he could have even been 3, but he in the summer got very excited about ladybugs, and they had ladybugs, you know, here and there, of course, in the spring in their backyard, and he was just enthralled by them, and they, you know, would land on his hand and crawl around, and he'd see them on leaves and stuff. And of course, you want ladybugs in your backyard because they eat the aphids and help keep your plants healthy. And I just love that my daughter Rocky would engage with him with that, and they would talk about ladybugs, and they would look them up on springtime, I know, but they would look up things about ladybugs and learn about them. And then what she did is she went and got, you know, if you go to a gardening store, you can buy like hundreds of ladybugs for about $6 to $8 and set them free in your backyard. And that's supposed to be really good for gardening and flowers and blah, blah, blah. Well, she actually got them for her son. And so they let them go, and he was so excited. And she, every chance he got, he wanted to go outside and check out the ladybugs. And so she got him a magnifying glass so he could look at them. And he had like a little insect catcher. You can get them at the dollar store for, you know, $1, or maybe the prices have gone up to $1.25 or whatever. I see them at like Target in their dollar area in the spring. Walmart will have them, you know, all those kind of stores will have them. They'll have that little dollar section. And so she would go and get those insect things, and he would go and catch them. And she had another baby at that time. And so sometimes when she needed to be taking care of Ingrid, she'd give him that, and he'd go off in the backyard and catch these little bugs, and then they would let them go, you know, after an hour when they were done playing. They didn't keep them in the little insect thing. They need to be free. I remember her telling them. And then little Sylvan, they need to be free. It was so much fun. But so she would encourage him, and he would be engaged for literally hours with these ladybugs. Well, ladybugs do what ladybugs do. And then there would be eggs, and he could find the little ladybug eggs, and then a larva would come out. And he's just this little guy, and I would come to visit, and he was Nana. My grandkids call me Nana, and Welsh, by the way, for grandmother. And so he dragged me out, and he wanted to show me all the larvae and the stages, and he knew all about this, and he loved it. And he would try to draw his little 3 and 4 year old pictures of the ladybugs, and this is a larva. And he would show me, they'd be like a squiggly line or whatever, and he'd have little legs coming out on the side, and he was so excited to tell me and to show me. So now he's busy, he's doing stuff outside, and he is out of her hair, and she was able to take care of things with Ingrid. And then when she was done, she could bring the baby outside in the summer, of course, and put the blanket down. And Ingrid was happy to be outside. Babies usually are. And then she'd go around with Sylvan, and he would tell her all about all these things that he would see. And it was just such a great engagement and a fun thing. And to this day, I know he's the ripe old age of 8 now, and he's still excited about all these different things, and he still loves to talk to his mom and his dad about all of the things that he's learning and finding out. And they're very supportive of him finding out information, and then going out and learning new things and finding new things and trying new things. And both his mom and his dad are great at those I wonder questions, even when they know the answer. It's not that they know the answer, it's all about that process of going through and researching and looking, and the excitement for now both their kids of finding an answer, and the excitement of, oh, now I know, right? They would get so excited about it. So I'm gonna have to put my glasses on because I took some notes of some things I wanted to share with you a little bit. So there, I guess the glare isn't horrible, but it's okay. Anyway, one of the things is that they have now done, so Melinda has spent 9 years now studying the science of curiosity, which, like, who does that, right? But what a great find that she is. And so curiosity actually helps you thrive in negative, difficult situations, because instead of sitting in the, oh, life is terrible, I don't know, and you just get overwhelmed. When you're used to being in a state of curiosity, you start looking for answers, right? You start looking for ways to fix, to turn things around, because you're in that curiosity state. And so they have found that people are more able to turn things around and to work things out more quickly and more positively when they have that curious mind. And so it's also, it helps you to get the things that you want and make things better in your life. And so it's just really interesting. It helps kids, well, and adults for that matter, to communicate better, because they become curious about language. They become curious about relationships. So it's not just curious about, bugs and dinosaurs, although those things are great things to be curious about, the great outdoors and all of that. They're wonderful things to be curious about. But there are also other things that you can be curious about with other people, and how they think and how they work, and how they react to different things. And if you can engage your little ones with some of that kind of curiosity as well, these are the kinds of things that we're talking about in the podcast. And so when we've instilled some of this in our kids when they're little, when they become teenagers, the science is showing that, sorry, my mouth is a little dry, but the science is showing that when they're teenagers, they tend to not deal with depression, they tend to not be as negative, they tend to have stronger relationships with not just their friends, but also with their family, meaning their siblings and their parents and extended family as well. So, I mean, just a lot of benefits to building that curious mind and realizing that curiosity can go way beyond other things. So my dad, and I don't know if you've been listening to me for very long, but my dad had his doctorate from Berkeley in electrochemical engineering. He taught at UCLA for many years, and then he moved over to BYU. That was after I'd moved on, and I was married and had a child of my own. But he had people who traveled from all over the world. I remember people from China and India and France and Germany and Japan who traveled just to study under my dad. Okay, a little bit of a brainiac. But I can remember my grandmother telling me that when dad was a kiddo, that she had to keep an eye on him because he would take things apart, wanting to know how it worked. Why does this react in this way? Why does this work? And how can I make it better? And I always remember that. That's such an interesting question. And in fact, that was one of the questions that Melinda brought up, is probably the best question to ask beyond I wonder, but maybe the best question to ask in humanity, other than faith questions. I think I'm big on faith, but is I wonder, how can I make it better? And it doesn't matter what is going on, whether I can learn more and help understand this piece of science better, or this art better, or maybe it's a situation. Maybe people are arguing and not getting along well. Maybe there's something going on in the family. Maybe it's their team and something isn't working with their team. So I was just talking to a friend of mine now. His son is now just graduated. Actually, he's a freshman in college, and the dad, my friend, not a big sports person, and so he was shocked when his son was, and his son isn't necessarily a big guy, but seemed to understand the um, comings and goings, like how things worked with his sport of choice. And so he actually was able to come on and not play the sport for his college, but to help work with the coaches um, at his college to help coach the team, because he could come on, see how a play was going, and then see what was going wrong with the play. That's where his curiosity was. He was always wondering how to make this play better. And so it's really helped him with getting through college, giving him that incentive and that excitement. That's where his curiosity lay. And so it's really kind of a exciting thing for us to investigate and to engage with our kids. So anyway, I've kept you long enough, but you can see I get very excited. I think curiosity is a big key in helping our kids manage not just education, although that is important and big, but it's also big in managing so many pieces of life, so many exciting things in life, and to help them be more active and to be more engaged, and not necessarily in front of a screen all the time. Sure, it's fun to be in front of a screen for some time, and that's certainly part of their society and engagement with friends. They're all talking about this game or that game. But do we really want them having that much time into something that, if you want to look at all of the studies that are showing the negative outcomes of some of that, we want to balance. We want to find that balance, and sometimes that's really hard to find. But curiosity might just help you understand how to find that balance. So I hope you'll listen to it. So it's episode 132 of Imperfect Heroes, Insights into Parenting. You're going to find it any format that you're listening to podcasts on. But we're also, if you want to see me with my guests and, being crazy, we're also on YouTube and Rumble. So on Rumble, the channel is Imperfect Heroes, and on YouTube, and I'm just getting the video up on YouTube. Actually, it'll be up tomorrow, but it'll be on Little Hearts Academy USA. So enjoy, have fun, and just if you have ideas, questions, let me know. If you want me to help you with an idea or a problem or a question that you have about parenting or raising these little guys, my specialty is early childhood. And so I work from birth to age 8. I have helped teachers and parents and grandparents and caregivers, just help them with problem solving, with looking at it with a new set of eyes, understanding how your kids are developing so that we know, let's see where they are, and then let's see what the next step is, because kids will do what kids do. And just because maybe you think they should be there, well, just because maybe you're right, maybe they should be there, but we're not going to get them there if we're worried about what should be. Let's look at what is, let's see what's going on. Let's look at the whole picture. I'm really good at seeing that. And then let's see what the next step is to get them moving forward. So I'd love to talk with you. You can always get a hold of me on the Facebook page or on the website, www.littleheartsacademyusa.com. And I would love to talk to you. So I'll be back here next Tuesday, 7 o'clock. And we'll talk again then. So until next time, let's find joy in parenting. See you guys. Bye-bye.